Hey everyone, welcome back to Game Vine, and my name is Dave, and today we're jumping back into the world of Catacombs. Let's do it. Now, as a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Elder Games, so thank you so much for your support. I really am having a fun time reviewing Catacombs. Now, this is a Catacombs variant. You could add this to the big game of Catacombs if you want, but this is more of a confined game where you can play 1v1 or 2v2. This is Catacombs Conquest. Now, if you've seen my review of Catacombs, you know I absolutely love it, and I gave it a perfect score because it's all about what I like. I like flicking disc, I like dungeon crawl and fantasy, and it just really hit home for me. So Catacombs Conquest is essentially just that, and it comes with this mat as well. You can purchase this as an additional thing to the Conquest game. I'm pretty sure they're doing a revision of this here soon as well, but don't hold my feet to the fire on that one. So my hopes are very high that this will be fun. Hopefully I can give it a good grade again. Well, wait, let me show you what comes in this box, and then we'll get to my opinion. Okay, so this is what you get in the box of Catacombs Conquest. And there's not much here, but what is here gets the job done so perfectly, especially for a 1v1 or 2v2 game. You have some of these obstacles. You have two good guys or two bad guys or whatever you want to call. Each team has two characters, and you have some bows and arrows and flames. Some cardboard pieces here which are life points. These little tokens here which keep track of whose turn it is on your actual player side. You have two different decks with fantastic art. I love this art. It almost has like a cell shade, almost like Borderlands, but it's unique even within the art world. I mean, so awesome. I love, and even some familiar faces might show up if you've played past Catacombs ones, like the Elf here, she shows up again. So you have a good deck and a bad deck, and the cards aren't linen finished, but they're nice art and thick card stock. You also have the wall that you can set up just like we did in the past Catacombs. Now, also you can get the Catacombs Conquest mat, the board here, which basically sets everything up. You don't need the wall, though I double up and put the wall around the mat. So let me go ahead and do that right now and show you how to play. Okay, so this is the game setup. It's either going to be for 1v1 or 2v2. So the mat had it set up perfectly. It's easy, super sweet, and simple package. You even have a reference card with all the iconography on here, which there isn't much, but there's just enough for you to have some variation. Everyone will start with 4 cards in their hand, and then you will have 8 hit points. The name of the game is deplete your opponent's hit points, or make it till they can't play a card, or deplete the hit point pool. Whoever has the most hit points at the end of the turn, at the end of that point wins. And there are tiebreakers and such. But on your turn, the reference card says what you do. You draw a card. You can either draw it at the beginning of your turn, at the end of your turn. I say at the end of your turn. Then you play a card, and then you do the action on it. Now, the name of the game is basically like Catacombs already. I'm not going to be going over every detail, but I will go over just enough, and if you want more details, go over to my other review. You have a rush, so you can move and hit obstacles and not worry about it, or if you hit your opponent, they won't take damage, but if you do a melee attack and you hit an obstacle, you take damage, or if you hit one of your opponents, they will take damage. And again, you just kind of tick that off their pool up top here. Now, if they fall off of the mat, you can just place them back on it, or you can just play with the mat altogether and just have the walls here. But there are other things that can damage them as well, like the critical shot. So instead of doing 1 damage, you can do 2 damage if you hit somebody, or you can have something that has this wave, and you can take this wave here and shoot it at your opponent, and it even has a critical damage of its own as well. You'll see the red spot. Fireballs also are something that you can play, so when you're playing stuff and it has like a melee, you'll do the first one, and then this one has a long bow, so you'll use this so you can melee move and try to move towards your opponent. and then you can then shoot this as a secondary and hit them. Now, at the very end of everything that you've played your action card, you also get to move one of these obstacles as a rush, so it doesn't hurt them, but it might clear your path or obstruct the enemy from hitting you. Again, you can just pick up these players and put them back on the board if they fall off the board. A fireball is just like an arrow. That was a pretty good shot, Dave. And that is basically everything in a nutshell. Again, you have little arrows too instead of the long bow that can be shot at your opponents as well. You just continue to do this until one of the end goals is reached. You kill all of your opponent's hit points, or if you go to play a card and you can't play one, then you lose. Or there are other cards in here that allow you to get extra hit points. And one other thing, you do have these tokens up here, so when you take your turn with the green character, you flip this, and then you flip this over, and that will remind you on your next turn you'll be flicking the purple. Just a little something to keep track. And that's essentially it. So now let me tell you what I think about this game and give it a grade. Let's go. And that is Catacombs Conquest with the mat. Whatever I think about this one, it gets a 94. Absolutely, it gets a GameVine must play it award again. And I really didn't have much doubt, especially when this. So let me give you a scenario. The thing about Catacombs 3rd edition, it's a giant game. I love that. But it's kind of hard to set up, though that doesn't make it an imperfect game for me. I still love it, though that would be one of the complaints that I would have, is that it's just a giant game and the setup takes a little bit longer than I would like it to. Though I always plow through that because I have so much fun with it, but now I don't have to. I can even vary up some of the heroes from the Catacombs games if I want to, but you don't have to. You can take everything in this box, and I call this my Convention Catacombs box, because this right here, easy setup and easy breakdown. It also is easy to carry. I mean, this box right here and the mat, you can put this all in your backpack, and there's no way that I'd be able to take Catacombs, the 3rd edition, to me to a convention. Sure, if I did, it'd be the only game I would take. But this way, I can still bring Catacombs with me in addition to a whole bunch of other games to conventions. And you better believe it, if you see me at a convention, I have Catacombs Conquest. It just hits on all those fantastic notes that the original has, but does it in a bite-sized version. And it gets 94. It's not like a perfect game, and that's only because the extra content and all the theme of the 3rd edition of the Catacombs just really blew my socks off. This one is just the same experience, just, you know, not all the bells and whistles. So if you just want a little taste of Catacombs, or you want Catacombs in an easier setup variant, this is a must-have. Should you get the mat? Abso-freaking-lutely, because it has spaces for setup, it makes it even easier. You don't have to, but if I were to buy Catacombs Conquest, I would definitely be getting the mat along with it. It makes everything about what this game is trying to accomplish even sweeter. So so much. This is a world that I love stepping into, and anytime I can do it at a faster pace, well, it piqued my interest and you knocked it out of the park again. So thank you so much again, Ellsworth Games, for sending us this review copy. Thank you so much, Vine Nation, for clicking like and subscribe. I know you did, right? That's fantastic. And until the next time that I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all you play. My name is Dave. You heard it here on GameVine. Bye. Vine Nation, we love making content here for you on the channel, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe now and help us out. This video right here, I think you'll like. This video right here, YouTube thinks you'll like. Or you can just sit here and watch me dance as a dinosaur for a little bit longer. You can visit us at our social media outlets, and we're going to be improving our Patreon here soon. That's all for today. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.